The Shape of Water is written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it stars Sally Hawkins, Richard Jenkins, Michael Shannon, Octavia Spencer, Michael Stuhlbarg, and also Doug Jones. And it tells the story of this woman who's mute. Basically, she can hear what you're saying, but she can't speak. And she works as a cleaner at this top secret research facility. And one day they bring this sort of creature in, played by Doug Jones. And these two characters form a relationship, and it's all about how this relationship leads to her sort of trying to help this character escape, basically. That's all in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. And this film's obviously been very hyped up because it's been nominated for tons of awards, it's already won tons of awards, and it's obviously been nominated for tons of Oscars. And I was excited just for that, but also because this film is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who's one of my personal favorites. He's one of the most sort of inspiring directors for me, and in my opinion, he's one of the few directors in Hollywood who can do both. And what I mean by that is he can direct these really beautiful, complex films like Pan's Labyrinth, and then he can do something like Pacific Rim, which is just absolute chaos. It's just so much fun. And of course, he's done the Hellboy films, which I grew up watching, so I love those films as well. And obviously, Crimson Peak wasn't that good. It was just kind of alright, and I can admit that. It's a beautiful film, but it was just okay. And here with The Shape of Water, he makes one of his best films. This is a film that is beautiful in every sense of the word. The cinematography is just outstanding. This film has been nominated for Best Cinematography. Of course, I don't think it's going to win because of Blade Runner 2049. And this is the most impressive use of the color green since probably Fight Club. It's absolutely gorgeous. Every shot, every frame of this film is just so beautiful. The score as well, by Alexander Desplat, I believe that's his name, is just so good. The production design here is super impressive, and of course the prosthetics and the creature suit that they had to make for Doug Jones, who by the way plays this creature so beautifully. And one of the biggest compliments I can give to this film is that it feels like a film that was made decades ago, but with today's technology. And that's one of the reasons I feel this film has a pretty high chance of winning Best Picture. It has a very classic, timeless feel. And out of all the Best Picture nominees I've seen, this is the only one that actually shows an appreciation to film and addresses the importance of visual communication and relationships that are formed visually, because obviously the main character is a mute, and so she feels very incomplete in life, and I think the idea of being incomplete in life is a big theme in this movie. And this creature comes along and sort of fills this void for her, and that's why their relationship works so well. And this idea, this theme of being incomplete, isn't just explored through Sally Hawkins' character, but also Richard Jenkins' character, and Michael Shannon's to a certain extent, and Octavia Spencer. It's done so beautifully here, and I have to talk about the acting now. Sally Hawkins definitely deserves her Best Actress nomination. I think she's probably not going to win, but it's definitely a well-deserved nomination. She gives an incredible performance here. It's so layered and complex. Richard Jenkins, also nominated, is brilliant. Michael Shannon is brilliant, but to be fair, Michael Shannon, I feel like, sort of just plays like, your classic Michael Shannon character, but he does it very well, obviously. Michael Stuhlbarg, who is in 3 Best Picture nominated films this year, is incredible. Probably not as good as he is in Call Me By Your Name, but better than he is in The Post. Octavia Spencer is brilliant, and Doug Jones, like I said, is absolutely incredible. So the acting is really great, but I have to say that my favorite part of this film is the directing by Guillermo del Toro. You can just tell that the guy is so damn passionate. I cannot wait until I get to see this film again and just sort of like dissect it for little details, and I might want to make a video essay about this film, because on the surface it may come off as quite a simple film, but actually it's a very complex film with so many little details. I do have 1 or 2 problems with this film. I do feel that at some points it does get a little bit cheesy, especially towards the end, because it is sort of a romance love story type thing, and sometimes it does get a bit cheesy. The ending I also didn't love, and also my biggest problem with this film is that it sometimes loses focus. You kind of have this main story, but you have all these different subplots, some of which are great, some of which aren't as great, and they don't always feel like they connect to the main story. And this was something that Guillermo del Toro did very well with Pan's Labyrinth, was he had this main story, this quest, but there was all this stuff going on the side which was so interesting, and it all kind of came together at the end. Whereas with this film, it didn't all come together at the end, and these subplots didn't always work so well. And there are certain moments in the film where I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, where is this going? I don't really see how this is going to wrap up, and I'm not really sure why this scene is here. But aside from that, The Shape of Water is a beautiful film. It's so well directed, really seriously well acted, and in my opinion, out of all the Best Picture nominees I've seen so far, I have 2 left to see, Darkest Hour and Phantom Thread, this is the most unique film, and I'm going to give it an A. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for more Oscar reviews coming out. I'm doing Lady Bird next. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.